both look like scrap.
Yes, we had a slight altercation with Dinobot. My fault, actually.
No way. I heard you and Rhinox planning to unzip my core, so I took off. Then Dinobot jumped me and Spot here rescued me.
Is it true, Optimus? Were you going to reprogram her?
With reprogramming, you could be the Maximal you were meant to be. But the decision to take that step is, and always will be, yours to make.
You mean I had a choice?
That is the Maximal way. Now, let's get you both back to base.
Excuse me, I believe that's my responsibility as her commander.
Hello. We are Anonymous. We will discuss something that involves all of us, and no matter where you live and what you do, we all have the ability to decide what is best for ourselves. Today we talk about the freedom of self. We are the dominant species on the planet, and we humans are a complex creature, yet we are fairly simple in design compared to other species on this planet. We are the only species that can choose to have sex anytime we want, feed ourselves at any time, and adapt to almost every environment tolerable to the human body. Of course, there are negative aspects of having free will, is that we are the only species that murders our own for personal gain or vengeance. We all have wants and needs, but what separates us from the animals of the wild is we have higher brain functions that allow us to decide what to do, where to go, how to do it, and so on. We wouldn't be the dominant species if we didn't realize we all have individual feelings, wants, needs, tastes and preferences. Some of our greatest battles and fights on this planet have been over prejudice and words. These are easily avoidable things to fight over, yet we allow our own individualism to tell us what is right for oneself, but for the other it may not. We live in a society of standards and rules, and lately with so many rules it is difficult for people to truly be free to do as they please. We all have it in us to engage in personal responsibility, and if we can live and let life and move past our own selfish individualism, we can function as a whole. We are defined by how we are raised, how we are treated, and what we are taught as children. However, some of us grow up different and feel that maybe what is laid out before us isn't quite what works for us. For example, you may love chocolate and your best friend loves vanilla. A useless argument would develop over which flavor is the best, but in the end, after all the fighting is over, the individual decides what is best for them and not for the other. Not forcing one's personal beliefs, standards and choices on someone close to you will avoid many problems. Even if their choices are wrong, it is up to them to engage in personal responsibility and decide what is best for them without interference or rules to limit the person. The more suppression and limitation, the more violent the tendencies of an individual and emotional turmoil will develop. As children we do not know any better, but eventually we all learn what happens when we stick a knife into a wall socket and learn not to do it again. Instead of having so many social limitations placed on ourselves and telling each other what to do, people should live with a trial and error thought process, because even when we grow old, we never stop learning. We grow until we can't grow anymore, and that is what is called experience. People need to be able to be truly free with their own life choices, and if those who do not approve of this cannot handle it, then they are afraid of themselves. They are afraid to sound different, afraid of making mistakes, and they themselves are afraid of ridicule. We unfortunately are living in a society where we all are expected to be conformists and mindless, obedient robots. However, one of our greatest minds that ever lived on this planet never followed anyone, never did what anyone else did, and of course in the end he was revered for his work. This person is Albert Einstein. Anonymous will never have a leader, because a leader is corruptible and cannot as well as should not decide for the group as a whole, because any leader fundamentally is a dictator. A true leader has the ability to let those below him decide what is best even if they don't agree. However, human nature does not allow for this kind of thinking. We all want to be ourselves, say what we want, do what we want, love who we want. However, we each must educate and not force ideals upon anyone. They must want to choose to say and do as they please and learn for themselves if it is right or wrong. In order to change the world, we must start with us. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.